Oh man, if I organized this shop, I'd have way more space. All right, one of the great things that I like about living out here in the country is that I'm surrounded by Amish. And so I was able to get a whole bunch of 1x12s, 10 foot long, and I got 8 of them.
So this project that I'm doing is a table that will go behind the couch, between the couch and the wall, to provide usable space. Currently I'm ripping some 3.5 inch stretchers.
It got bound up, so I have a wedge that I keep there just for this occasion.
The wood I'm using is just pine. The overall dimensions of this table is going to be 117 inches long, 13.5 inches wide, and 31 inches tall. And as you can see, there's some tension in these boards, so it's always a good idea to have a spacer ready and available when needed.
A lot of tension in that board, but 1x12s, they're still fairly, not green, but still green enough. All right. Well, these are going to go in the fire.
I'm cutting these boards at 6 3/4 wide because the customer is unsure if they're going to stain or paint it. So in the event that they do stain it, at least it'll be 2 even boards and not look awkward with just a wide board and then a skinny board to make the entire 13.5 inches wide. Again, it binds up, and so I use my spacer there.
These will be the top 2 stretchers. They'll be a little thicker, and then these will be the bottom stretchers and my ankle pieces. So now we can put these and join them together, which I will use, since I just bought the domino, I'm going to use the domino to put these together. And then I may or may not throw a couple pocket hole screws in there just to kind of help clamp it until the glue dries. So I did use this once already to fix the rocking chair back there. So I'm kind of familiar with it. Got to change the bit out, which I learned how to do by watching a video. Very interesting tool, this domino, and I probably could just use pocket holes. I've already marked the edge that I used on the table saw. So that's the nice clean edge. There is still some tension in this wood, so it is kind of bowed out, especially right there.
I previously marked out where I wanted to put dominoes and where I wanted to put pocket hole screws, so right now I'm just cutting out the mortises for the dominoes to go on that board.
Okay, and now these will be on the slightly loose setting.
Using a domino has really changed the way that I do joinery with my projects. It's a really awesome tool. I'm pretty happy with the purchase. If you'd like to win one, you can enter through the link in the description below. Tickets are $17.76, and the drawing will be held on July 4th. You can buy as many tickets as you want.
Very similar to using a biscuit joiner, slightly different.
So here I am putting in the pocket holes. The boards were somewhat bowed a little bit just because of the amount of tension, especially in the one board.
I think I might add another one right here, because this is where it's starting to, that's where that bow is at. This is the tight side, so this is the side the dominoes go in. And they're pretty tight, friction fit almost, so that's good. It was loud. I probably don't even need to glue those in. We'll glue on the other side though. Total newbie at this domino thing, but so far I like it. It's fairly easy to use. Not quite sure how I feel about all the cases though. Having to stack them, it just seems like it wouldn't be all that great. Now comes the fun part.
And this is where I start making mistakes. How many do you think I'm going to make? Let's watch and find out.
Sorry if I'm not too enthusiastic with this build. My lower back is killing me right now. It's I'm in a lot of pain. So I'm just kind of making do. You've been in the Army for a while. Damn it.
Using the dominoes, this thing went together really easy, way smoother than any time I've ever used biscuits to do joinery like this. I'm so glad I bought it. And again, I'm doing a giveaway, so enter to win one because it made this way simple.
Alright, I knew I was going to need to get some clamps on here anyway, so let's get those on. Tell you what, these dominoes really line it up. Like, so good. So much better than a biscuit joiner. Because I've used a biscuit joiner before, and that was just, it did not work too well. This part right here is a little bit off. These are my cowls, and they're just old street sign posts. But they work extremely well for this. Get the old trusty hammer. It's just a little bit off, not too much. That can stand out better than what it was. That together. That's good, that's good. That's good, and that's good. All right, let's see if I take this off, if it's gonna move. Nope, all right, so good. Table's not quite long enough, but it'll be all right. I'm gonna start from the middle, work my way out. All right, so I got all my screws in. Now we'll let that sit, and I'll let the glue dry, and I'll start working on getting the pocket holes ready for the TBI brain again, stretchers. Well, I forgot to record it. I used my track saw to square one end, and then I measured, or rotated this around, measured, and used the track saw again to cut this so it's nice and square. It's 117 inches long. Sorry, I forgot to record with the track saw. It's just, you know, you've seen one person use a track saw, you've seen 100 people use a track saw. 13 and a half. Got my 2 end pieces cut. Now I'll put some pocket holes on this side, which is pre-finished because it's one side pre-finished. That way, if they want to stain or paint, they got a nice, good surface to do that.
And this is where I make mistake number 3 because I should have cut these down to their proper length before putting in any of these pocket holes. But I catch it later. It was just a pain to correct.
Now, I know these are red like woodpeckers, but they're not woodpeckers. They're just Amazon special. Not sure if I like these things or not. Tell me, anybody else use these corner clamps and like them? Kind of, I don't know. I feel like there's probably a better way to do it. Ooh. I don't want to sand through the veneer, you know, so Got to make sure it's nice and flush. All right. And they're just triangles. So what I'm going to do is pocket hold them, and these are going to sit in the corners, so that way it'll keep it nice and square.
Here I drill pocket holes in the ends of the top stretchers, but I also forgot to cut these to the correct length. So this is just another mistake that it takes me a little bit of time to catch, but I eventually do, and then have to correct it. So yeah, so far, lots of little simple mistakes. It happens.
Oh, I cut this too long. I forgot to cut it shorter than what I needed.
Sorry about that humming in the background. It's my diesel heater. It was quite cold when I was building this, so that's what it is. Had I cut this to the correct length in the beginning, I would have already had these pocket holes drilled. And as you can see, I was quite defeated because of all these little small mistakes that I was making.
Oh, wow, they got a high school marching band at the inauguration in Tennessee. It's another day in the shop.
And I still haven't noticed that these things are too tall, but I continue working anyway. And right now I'm just measuring out for the recessed power strips and to make sure that I do not put any stretcher supports where the power strips are going to be.
Any stretchers right there. Now, if you're like me and you don't like doing math, trying to figure out the center and dividing, just get yourself a center read tape measure, self-centering tape measure. You read the black number, and then the red number is the center. So it makes it so much easier when you got to do stuff. And then half of that is 28 7/8. That's right there on the stretcher, or where the plug is going to be. So I'm just going to do one here, 23 over here. So that'll be 3 stretchers going this way. That'll be more than enough. Let's square this end off first. And 11 7/8. Make sure that my shadow line is lined up right. Normally I would set up a stop block for repeated cuts, but because I'm only making 3 of these, I'm not going to do that. A little snug. So I got one here, one there, and one here. And I don't want it to be where the seam is at, so I'll do a little bit over from the side of center. Just slightly off-centered. Could probably just do 2. 3 might be overkill. Very well built and sturdy. Sure, it's square. The reason I did pocket holes for everything is because the top is going to look nice. The rest of this is going to be hidden behind the couch, so it doesn't really need to have hidden screws. All right, I got to cut these 2, 1/15 and 5/8. So here's one.
I look at the ends and I still don't notice they're too long. I'm just trying to figure out how to put the stretchers up.
I'm going to put these up here. It's going to go like this. And I'm going to have this probably 1/4 inch. Yeah, 1/4 inch from the bottom. I just realized, so I was going to take some of this and I was going to use it to go from here to here. And that's when I realized that I have the wrong height, because this is at 42 inches and it was supposed to be 31 inches. So I'm very much way over it. I forgot after I made the vertical pieces here to cut them to the right height. So yeah, just found that out, figured that out. So to do it right, I'm gonna do it right. I'm gonna take all the screws out down there on those boards and fix it. So yay! Now you can watch me disassemble this.
So just to reiterate that even if you've been building stuff for a long time, everybody makes mistakes, and that's really not the point. As long as you can figure out how to correct your mistakes and make things good, then that's what really matters.
There we go. So that's the correct height. I knew this looked way too tall yesterday when I was done. And I was like, man, is this couch really that tall? But that's because I forgot to cut the pieces down. So, yay! Again, I'm leaving a 1/4 inch from the bottom as a gap in case there's unevenness in the floor. That's just to temporarily hold it. Wonder where his plugs are in the wall. Cut 2 boards. These are just going to go just like that. So that's the front. This is going to be the back. I need to notch out right here for the baseboards on both sides because this is not going to be a built-in. Anybody see my mistake? I made the cut this way, but it was supposed to go this way because this is the wall side. I'm not happy with that. Not very happy with that, but at least it's the back against the couch. You won't really see it too much. I'm frustrated. All right, so now to make this look like crap, I'm just gonna go like this the whole way. Oh, that's heavy. Oh, yeah, that's not going to go anywhere. Got to give it that tap. That's not going anywhere. So just so I can remember and make no more mistakes, that's the front. You'll notice that these plugs have outlets here on top and USB, but they also have plugs on the bottom. So if you want to, let's say, put a lamp on here, but you don't want to have the plug sticking up top, you want to keep these open for, temporarily used things, but you want to have permanently plugged in stuff down here, then you can put the cord, because usually you take a cord and you tuck it behind anyways because you don't want to see it. So this way you can tuck the cord behind this and then plug it in from underneath, and that way you can still have a lamp up here and not have to have it plugged into here and then try to hide the cord. It just makes it easier. I really like these plugs. They're pretty versatile for doing stuff like this. Good for desks as well. I'll leave a link in the description on these.
Even though the jigsaw works perfectly for this application, It would have been much easier, quicker, and cleaner if I would have just made a little jig and used my router to shape out the hole needed for the recessed plugs. If I did it all over again, that's what I would do.
Much better. I don't know about you guys, but I couldn't let this leave my shop with that looking like that as a mistake, because it's supposed to look like this, not like that. Luckily, I was able to find two pieces, so I already pocket holed them. I already notched them out both sides. So now I just got to replace these pieces, because I can't let that leave the shop. That's not good. That's not good craftsmanship. That's not good quality. So time to take these off again, because this is the second time. First time was because they were too tall. Now this time it's because I screwed it up, made mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Even if you've been doing this for a while, or not long at all, honestly. Everybody makes mistakes. At least I'm getting good at taking this thing apart. That's also why I don't like gluing everything in, because sometimes you need to take things apart, and if I would have glued this all together, it would have been way harder to fix. This one goes here. That's funny. I'm using pocket holes, and Spenceley Designs, whatever it's talking about. Using pocket holes and how people hate on it, which I try not to use them as much as possible, but for stuff like this, and having worked in cabinet shops, it is the perfect type of joinery for this stuff. There. Much better. Don't like how wobbly this is. Just like that. Let's work on this. Sand this, get it nice and smooth out, and then round the corners over. I don't want this to pop off in the future, so I'm going to fill this with some CA glue. That way, it's cold. It's not folded very well. That way, it won't pop off in the future. All right, I'm going to put a slight round over on it. Yeah, I'm going to round this over too. It's going to be up against the couch, and I don't want it to tear the fabric. Well, it's done. One last thing. Got to put these in. All right, so what do you think? A behind the couch sofa table. So this will go behind the couch. This side is going to be the couch side. This side is the wall side. Got recessed outlets. Nice round over, no sharp edges. I hope the customer is very happy with this. And if you want to build one for yourself, it's not that hard. It's just a little bit time consuming. Let's get this to the customer and put it behind their couch.